move on to the Final Four, and you have to bowl against Sammy Ventura. At this point, it's only one game. High
Correct.
score makes the final. If you're not the high score, you go home. So tell us what happened in the Sammy Ventura match.
Okay, so the Sammy Ventura match, which I was kind of happy to bowl Sammy because I bowled with him the whole day. We had a great rapport the whole day, so the comfort level was good. I moved from one end of the house to the high end of the house, which was where I scored well the day before, so my comfort level was good going in. However, that didn't start out the way I wanted it to, because my first ball I pulled, I shot a 7 spare. Second ball I throw into the pocket, I get a 7-10 split. So 2 frames in, I'm down 20 pins because Sammy strike.
Yep.
And I battle back, I get a triple, I get a double. So going into the 10th frame, Sammy finishes, I finish first because I chose to finish first because I was the higher seed, so I get to choose.
Yep.
Sammy started on the left and I finished first. So I'm 6 pins up going into the 10th frame. The 10th frame goes, I'm on a strike. If I strike, Sammy has no chance. I can close him out. As it be, I throw a great ball, I get the wrap 10 again, didn't carry,
Right.
I spare, I throw a 7. Now Sammy can strike and beat me. So Sammy being a seasoned pro and clutch as he's as known for, I'm sitting down waiting to go home. So Sammy throws a perfect ball. As soon as it's out of his hand, I said, start taking your shoes off. It doesn't work out that way. He got the same bad break I got. He got the wrap 10, and game over. I win by 6 pins.
So now you've made the final. You threw a clutch strike against Jay Davis to advance. You bowled well, and then Sammy couldn't carry that 10 pin like you
Right.
couldn't either to advance in the one game. But now you're going up against Danny Weissman, and for people who don't know, Danny Weissman, he's not only a PBA Professional Bowlers Association Hall of Famer, he's also a USBC, United States Bowling Congress Hall of Famer.
Right.
He's got 12 PBA titles and 12 regional titles on top of that. So tell me your thoughts going in. I would think, this guy's in the Hall of Fame. He's a seasoned pro. You're there for your first final ever. Tell me how you were feeling when you went for that match.
Well, I knew what Sammy scored in this match against Ryan Schaefer. I knew he shot a 248.
Danny had shot a
Oh,
248.
I'm sorry, did I?
Danny.
Yeah, Danny shot a 248 against Ryan Schaefer to get into the finals. So, being what I've shot the 3 games that I've already bowled, I know I have to come up with something in the bag of tricks and say,
Yep.
208's not going to cut it in the finals. I know it's Danny Weissman. I know it's center stage, and I know it's going to be quiet, something I'm not familiar with. However, I said, I'm in the finals for the first time. I already feel like I won.
Okay.
So I says, if I go home and I lose to Danny Weissman, who's going to say, oh, you should have beat him? Nobody.
Right.
I go to the practice pair, the center pair, where you get 5 minutes of practice before you get to bowl. So I said, I better come up with something, because what I've been doing so far, it's just not going to cut it.
Right.
And in practice, I said, you know what, just relax, slow it down, and let whatever happen, happen. My cousin came in took an hour drive to get there. Never seen me bowl before in his life. Never seen any sporting event I've ever been in his life. And he lives in Delaware, and he just happened to see on Facebook that I was bowling in Delaware. He calls me up and says, what's going on? I'm coming. And now I said, okay. So he came the whole day, which was great. So I had some good karma going on, and I had my father and his father watching me from above. So I would like to take full credit, but I think there was a little help. So at any rate, in practice, I slowed it down, and all of a sudden, things clicked in, and I felt like I couldn't miss in practice. And I'd say, okay, I've had that happen as you've had that happen in practice before. You throw 10 strikes in a row, and then you open up with a goose egg.
Right.
Didn't happen to be the case that day. I started with, I should say that Danny started with a spare, and then then I start with 2 strikes. So comfort level's pretty good. I'm up 10 pins, not down like Sammy Ventura's match. So Danny now throws 2 strikes. I throw the next 2. He throws 2 more. I throw the next 2. So in the 5th frame, I have the front 5. He has spare and front 4. So I'm only up by 10 pins.
Right.
So the pressure is still on, but I said I have nothing to lose at this point. And it was a good pressure. It wasn't a nervous pressure. I felt like I knew what I was doing, and I knew if I could execute, I was going to do well. And luck would have it, I shot the front 9. And
well, that's not luck, but go ahead.
But Danny was in it till the 8th frame. So he was in it till the 8th frame, and if I strike in the 9th frame, the match is closed out. He wound up with a 229, I believe it was. So in the 9th frame, I did get that strike, and then I realized I actually had won a tournament, because up to then I was just trying to execute my shots.
Right.
And then I said, I actually won this thing.
That's awesome.
It was pretty awesome, yeah, actually. And then in the 10th frame, I threw a beautiful shot, and I got a stone 9 pin. I spare, strike out, and then I get a 279 for the win.
So as most people know, 279 is essentially all strikes with 1 9 spare. But
correct.
by the time you threw the 9 spare, you knew you had already won the match.
Right.
And the championship.
Correct.
So what were your feelings then? Because you've come such a long way. The bowling when you were young stopped because of the softball pitching. It helped you with bowling, but you've really climbed that ladder. So what was the feeling like when you knew you locked them out in the 9th frame after you struck?
It was nothing more than just feeling like, you set a goal for yourself to see how far you could go, and you accomplished something that you set out to do. Obviously, I was ecstatic. Couldn't believe that the whole scenario was almost outside of yourself watching a movie. To me, it couldn't have happened any better if I wrote it myself. It was just, being that far from elimination, that close to being eliminated, to now winning the same, from a half hour before, just ready to tie your shoes and go home, and now you just won, and it's just, can't describe how great it feels.
So tell us what happens next now. You're a PBA champion, so that qualifies you to do what? To bowl in a bigger tournament.
Right, so I was going to be bowling this weekend in a non-championship tournament, which I'm no longer qualified for. I can't. So that's a great thing. The best way not to bowl in a tournament is to win something and not be qualified. So now I'm qualified to go to the TOC, which is the Tournament of Champions in Fairlawn, Ohio, and that's February 3rd. So,
and that's a bowling major. That's one of the major tournaments in the country.
Yeah, that is one of the majors. It's a $100,000 first prize.
Wow.
I'm qualified to go to a pre-qualifier. So I won't bowl in that tournament unless I finish in the top 6 of the pre-qualifier. So the pre-qualifier is on Monday. There's 10 games on Monday, February 3rd. If you are in the top 6, you then go into the top 65 of all the pro bowlers like Belmonte, every top.
All the stars. Yep.
If they're good, they're there. They go by total points, past champions. So certain bowlers get a bye. So if you won a past TOC championship, you'll get a bye and you can bowl in that. Otherwise, it's your point leaders from the tour last year. And then, like I said, there's 6 qualifying spots that all the other champions get to fight for.
I just want to say on a personal note, besides congratulations to Pete, this makes me feel a lot better personally because for a number of years now, this guy has just been beating me every Wednesday at Home Field Bowl in the police league that we both bowl in. But he's a great bowler, a great guy, and we wish him luck in the future.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Pete.
I
That's awesome.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
This is Steve Callis, speaking of sports. We'll see you the next time.